Hey there, Waffle Crew. I hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm Mark, and today we're diving into some fresh relationship tales. If you enjoy a good Reddit yarn, why not smash that like button, hit subscribe, and maybe ring that notification bell. Let's jump into our first story. Our opening tale comes from Electric Stranger 7, who posted about breaking up with his girlfriend 26F for not believing he, 25M, was ill. My partner and I have been together for roughly a year, and things are mostly awesome, except for one issue. Whenever I mention feeling unwell or injured, she dismisses it entirely. If I catch a cold, she accuses me of pretending until it clears up, then claims I was fine all along. I rarely get sick, so it hasn't been a huge deal. But her lack of empathy when I'm under the weather is striking. She grew up with hypochondriac parents who were constantly diagnosed with something dire, often self-proclaimed. She keeps minimal contact with them, and when I met them, they ominously declared they didn't have long to live. I understand that her childhood must have been tough, but what happened last Sunday pushed me to my limit. My girlfriend and my sister, 29F, planned to attend an event together, and I was supposed to join. I woke up with agonizing back pain, barely able to catch my breath. My girlfriend was furious, thinking I was sabotaging the day, and she gave me the silent treatment. As she was about to head out, I pleaded with her to stay, sensing something was seriously wrong. She brushed me off and left. I ended up vomiting in bed and had to call my parents for help. Too embarrassed to dial 911, my mom and brother rushed me to the hospital. I was quickly taken in, diagnosed with kidney stones within 20 minutes, given fentanyl and Zofran, and sent for a CT scan. I underwent a procedure to break up the stones. If you're ever debating the procedure, go for it. The side effects are minimal. 5 hours later, I was sprawled on my parents' couch, dazed. That pain was unlike anything I've experienced, and I hope never to feel it again. The ER doctor said it's worse than childbirth, having experienced both. I didn't message my girlfriend during this because I was too weak and out of it. My sister learned I was in the ER, and soon after my girlfriend called, upset that I hadn't informed her. I reminded her I'd begged her to stay because I knew something was off. She went quiet and mumbled an apology. I was livid, still drugged up, sore, and passing blood. I said some harsh things, including telling her to get lost in not-so-nice terms. Standing was excruciating, and I had to take 2 days off work and school to recover. Lying in bed, all I could think about was how the person who should have been there didn't even believe me. She sent a formal apology text this week and expects one from me for my harsh words. I've been dodging her calls and messages. I felt awful this week, likely caught something in the ER, so I've been laying low. She wants to meet tonight to talk, but I'm still so angry I'm unsure if I should delay seeing her. Is this as big a deal as it feels? Am I overreacting because I was so unwell? I'm just so frustrated. Coincidentally, I'm covering this today after seeing a Reddit post yesterday about a kidney stone someone passed. One commenter mentioned their grandpa, who'd endured countless ailments, but said kidney stones pushed him to write his will. That's intense. Stay hydrated, folks. Ultimately, no one can decide for you. It's personal. Can you look at this person the same way after they dismissed your medical emergency? You asked her to stay, and she basically said, "Nah, I've got plans." Is she addressing the trauma from her childhood that's clearly affecting her now? Without therapy, will you keep feeling guilty for being sick? Sure, you said some nasty things, but you were in a medical crisis, and she abandoned you to fend for yourself until you had to call your parents. Yet, she's demanding an apology. I'm not saying there's no way forward, people can work through things, but would you trust her again? What's the future if she doesn't seek help? It's concerning, but let's check some comments and the update. Baffled Bar says if you want to salvage this, meet her and listen. If she's fixated on getting your apology rather than addressing her actions, walk away. You should apologize for your choice of words, not your anger, which was justified. She left you during a medical emergency. Luckily, you had a phone and other people to rely on. But how will she change her behavior when you're unwell? This might be a wake-up call for her to realize not everyone is like her parents. But she could also just be easing her guilt and might blame you for not convincing her it was serious. Three-Legged Banana says if I told my partner I was in so much pain I couldn't breathe and they left, I'd feel betrayed. Your reaction is valid. She should have been concerned and offered to take you to the hospital. Her past may make empathy hard, but she needs therapy. Imagine if she had kids and dismissed their illnesses. That's neglect. Star Nerd says meet her to gauge her sincerity. If she's genuinely remorseful, this might have shown her that not everyone exaggerates illness like her parents. If she's sorry, apologize for your words as they were harsh, even if drugged. But if she's focused on her apology and downplays her actions, end it. She'll likely continue this behavior. She needs therapy for the psychological damage from growing up with parents obsessed with illnesses. Tossaway says, I couldn't get past this. Dealing with doubt and guilt every time I'm sick, on top of feeling awful, is unbearable. She'd need to see you hospitalized to believe you. She can take a hike. Deleted user says if you can't forgive her lack of empathy, that's valid. Her issues are hers to fix. She's shown you can't trust her when things get tough. Here's the OP's update. I was still upset after posting, but knew we needed to talk. Despite my objections, she showed up at my door when I got home, startling me. She came with gifts, chocolates, a game, a card, beer, and dinner. You guys were right. Her family history made her skeptical of sudden illnesses like kidney stones. She apologized profusely, barely letting me speak, and read notes from her phone, including why I shouldn't end things. I explained how bad the hospital was and why I was so mad. She kept apologizing and vowed to address her issues. She'd already contacted her therapist, who gave her strategies and advice before our meeting. She seemed to grasp the gravity of the situation and didn't bring up my apology. She stayed at my place all weekend, ensuring I didn't change my mind, and hung out with my friends when they visited. She was apologetic, took care of me, and made up for her absence. It felt odd, but I didn't mind a lazy weekend since I wasn't fully recovered. By Sunday, I wasn't as angry and was ready to move forward. She kept asking if we were okay, and I reassured her countless times. My brother dropped by to tease me about the kidney stones and sneak some beer. He playfully gave her a hard time, and she thanked him for taking me to the hospital, dodging his attempt to get her to help with his chores. She worried my family hated her, but I hadn't shared the full story, so they didn't know how upset I was. Things seem fine now. I'll stay vigilant to ensure this doesn't happen again, but it's okay for now. Thanks for the advice. Comments on the update were mixed. Some called her camping out manipulative, others said she's learned and deserves a chance to change, though her ambush was odd. What do you think? Is the update positive or negative? Share your thoughts below, and let's move to another story. This next one's a bit different, more work-focused, but I found it intriguing. It's from a throwaway account, with someone, 31F, asking if they're crazy for wanting to quit their job and work part-time at Starbucks. I'm 31. With $500,000 invested across my 401k and trading account. No debt. And $50,000 in checking to tide me over for a couple of years. All my money comes from working, saving, and investment gains. I live in Kansas City with my elderly parents, nearly 80, and don't own property. We're from Kolkata, so it's not unusual for unmarried kids to live with parents. They're financially and physically independent. My monthly expenses are about $1,000 since I don't pay rent. My parents refuse rent, but I give them $1,000 each for birthdays and holidays, forcing it on them despite their independence. I spend around $20,000 annually, including those gifts. I'll stay with my parents until they pass, never putting them in a home. I don't hate my job as a finance analyst earning $85,000 gross, but I hate spending 9 hours a day there. I'm considering a part-time job, like at Starbucks or Costco, for 3 days a week to cover health insurance and spending money. My goal is to grow my $500,000 to $1 million in a decade and retire. At 4% return, $1 million would cover insurance and expenses. Alternatively, I could do 6-month finance contracts, earn $25,000 for spending and insurance, then take 6 months off. I'm ready to quit. I've drafted my resignation letter and am terrified. My plan is to resign, relax for a couple of months, visit India for a month. I haven't been since I was 3. Then look for part-time work. I have $50,000 liquid to last a couple of years. I'll think it over this weekend and quit Monday. Comments varied. Some warned that $85,000 jobs are rare. Others suggested going part-time in her current role. Some said Starbucks isn't relaxing, while baristas countered that they love it. Everyone's work experience differs, but money's the key issue here. If it wasn't, and OP wants a relaxing job, I think of warehouse jobs I've had. Clock in at 9, do your tasks, clock out at 5. Those were some of my best jobs. You leave work at work, unlike my self-employed or market research roles, where I couldn't switch off. Warehouse jobs let me disconnect, knowing what's expected the next day. Not all are like that, some were chaotic, but it's my experience. OP's edit. After reading replies, I'm convinced not to quit Monday. You're right. 20 hours at Starbucks might feel as bad as 20 hours in finance, but I'd earn 4 times more in finance. I need to think more about quitting. OP's update. A month ago, I posted about wanting to quit my $85,000 job with $500,000 saved to work part-time at Starbucks for insurance. I realized I was a bit foolish. That day, I deleted my resignation letter and updated my resume to Job Hunt instead. That Monday, I contacted a top employment agency and spoke with a recruiter. Within a week, they lined up 3 interviews for finance jobs in my city. 1 part-time, 2 full-time, but unique finance IT hybrid roles. I got 2 offers last week. 1 part-time, 1 full-time. I took the full-time job for better benefits, flexible hours, less overtime, 2 days working from home, and a raise to $98,000. I'm giving my 2 weeks' notice tomorrow. Good riddance. I feel excited about work again. I realized I hated my current job's traditional office environment, not work itself. This change should make work enjoyable, at least for the new job honeymoon phase. My current job had me dreading every day, feeling like cubicles were prison cells. I don't know if I'll love this new gig, but I'll try it for a year. Maybe I'll adore it, or maybe I'll want to quit again. I'm optimistic, aiming to grow my savings to $1 million to retire comfortably without making lattes for pennies just for insurance. I set a later start date to give 2 weeks' notice, decompress for a week, travel for a few weeks, destination TBD, and relax 2 more weeks before starting. Comments included. One person noted that jobs like Starbucks appeal because you leave work behind, unlike jobs demanding after-hours communication. Another congratulated OP, saying, barista fire sounds awful to those who've worked tough retail or food service jobs, dealing with rude customers and messes for low pay. This story's unique. We don't often get job-focused ones, but it resonated with my varied work history. What do you think? What advice would you give OP? Do you have a dream job? Or do you sometimes feel like OP? Share below. Huge thanks for joining me today. Your time, love, and support mean everything. See you in the next one. Take care and much love.